Evening, everyone. The board has been in a work session and executive session, as well as a little light ribbon cutting prior. And now we are ready to convene into our regular session. But first, please stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I believe we have some minutes to approve. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Bevan, please call the roll.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Gavin?
Yes.
Ms. Apache?
Yes.
4-0.
All right, that takes us right to item number 6, which is our superintendent's presentation.
Thank you so much. Well, tonight, as we do each and every month, so if this is new to you, go check it out on our YouTube channel. But each and every month, Tracy Carson, the Public Information Officer, and team put together a wayfinding moment. And the wayfinding moments are a way for us to dig into what's going on in the district that really helps us define Mason quality and the experience that our students, staff, and community have. So I'll turn it over to Tracy for our wayfinding moment for February.
Sure. At Ohio's largest high school, student well-being is more than just a class or a workout. It's an intentional investment in our Comet's mental and physical health. This month's wayfinding video takes you inside Mason High School's newly renovated performance strength facility, one of the nation's top high school strength training spaces. Led by MHS Health and PE teacher Brian Kastner, MHS strength coach Trent Smart, and MHS Associate Principal of Student Life Brandon Rompies, this transformation is designed to support the over 750 students who train daily before, during, and after school. With expanded capacity, upgraded equipment, and a safer, more efficient design, this space fuels personal growth, fosters teamwork, and strengthens the Mason Comet community for years to come. Whether lifting weights or lifting each other up, MHS students like senior Jazz Johnson are proving that true strength is built together.
We're very, very fortunate here. We have 20,000 square feet of strength room. Between 10 here, 3,000 upstairs, and 6,000 over at the middle school, the opportunities for a student athlete to mentally and physically get stronger, it's unmatched. There's nowhere around here in the Midwest that can match what we offer from grades 7 to 12 for all students, not just athletes, but it's a very fortunate place to be, and just real excited to be a part of it. We've had many athletes and many students come through these rooms and come out a better person and went on to bigger and better things. Not just athletes that go on and play at the pro level, but doctors and lawyers that come out of here and are still training. I can't tell you the couple emails that I've received about what this class has done for them down the road, and it gives me a special feeling. I know Coach Smart takes it very personal in making sure that every student that comes through these doors are greeted with a presence about themselves and understanding that they're going to leave with more confidence if they put the work in.
I feel like with the new renovation, it's been like a lot of help with getting everyone to interact with like one other person or two other people, especially after school with like sports. We had like 4 sports teams at one time, so we were getting to practice late, and then a lot of us have AP classes and a bunch of homework, so we get out of practice late too. So it's like a big help with that. And then I feel like during the renovation, it was just really exciting because I was told I wasn't going to be able to see the weight room because I was a senior. So Coach was like, "Yeah, we're going to try to get it done this time." And I was like, "Okay, that's great." And then I got it done real fast, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." For me, I feel like getting the gym just a way to like be strong and like a strong individual and not like care what people think. It's like pushing you to do better almost. So like you're pushing yourself to be stronger.
When you think of a person's career and what their legacy is, it really starts here. And the true meaning behind that is, did you leave it better than you got? And I think all athletes that work hard in here know that they put the time in, and not that they deserve it, but they earned it. And they earned it, and whether it was first place, second place, or they didn't place, they're a part of something bigger than themselves.
Mason basketball's been a big part of my life. Like, I think I played since 4th grade. And I feel like it's just like knowing that I'll leave here and like still be a comic is like good. Because like I'm always told I can come, oh, it's making me emotional. I'm always told I can come back and like over the summer we'll come back to like the little girls camp and like they say like leave our legacy, and I feel like that's what we're gonna do this year.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Appreciate it. Jazz, thanks for leading the way, and all of our other athletes, Coach Kastner and crew. There is so much more to learn about the Performance Strength Center that we have to offer our students. And like Coach Kastner said, it's our student athletes, but it's all of our students. And we have multiple different experiences at different levels throughout our district. So we're just so grateful to be able to offer that, and thank the board for their investment in our well-being of our kids. And so we had the ribbon cutting earlier tonight, and that is our wayfinding moment. So, Tracy, our second superintendent presentation tonight is the world-famous William Mason High School dance team. Take it away.
Your state champion dance team is up next. And we thought there wouldn't be anything better than for you to see the performance that earned them that state title. So we're going to pull that up for you right away. Hip hop and game day, both state champions.
Thank you, Tracy, for including. Yes, we appreciate it. I think does it continue going?
No, that's the end.
I don't want to interrupt it. I don't want to interrupt the performance. Dancers, thank you so much for representing Mason so well on the national stage. I want to invite our Coach Hutter down if you would like to frame this up for us, and maybe we can talk to a couple of our students about their experience as well.
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Hutter. I'm the head coach of the Mason varsity dance team. And I first off want to thank you for having us here. It means so much to us to be recognized in the community for all our hard work that we have put into this season, as these athletes right here know. Our season actually starts at tryouts in April, and then they train over the summer, and they actually go to camp and qualify for them to be able to compete at nationals, at UDA nationals, against other schools all over. There's schools from Pennsylvania, Michigan, all that kind of stuff that we compete against, and that's how we qualify to even be able to be on the floor. And then we start choreography in August, and then they practice all the way from August till the end of January. And January is our main season. We have basketball season where we perform a lot of the halftime basketball games, and then we have all our competitions, local and all the way out to national. And then the big thing this year is we haven't been to state, and since I believe it was 2018 was the last time that we went, and we got 2 state titles this year, which was unbelievable, and just a great way to put our mark back statewide. And it helps because they used to have state more at March, and so it was just a little long for our season, and so they moved it so more schools can participate in the dance season. And so that's why it became so much easier for us, because, you know, as you can tell, from June all the way till March, it's a long time to be practicing these dances. So yeah, but we have 19 athletes on the team, and they've been unbelievable this whole season. This is Morgan Elam, my assistant coach, and Holly Phelps, who is not able to be here. So there's 3 of us coaches that lead this team. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I know that one of the big things, because I got asked politely once I filmed you guys' halftime routine
yes.
and posted it.
Yes.
Talk about the links you go through to make sure that no one sees the routine until
Yes.
it's ready.
Yes, it's so great that you got to experience that. I apologize if we came at you strong. So yes, the big thing right now, especially in the dance world, is just the themes are huge. And this goes for college level too. It's keeping that stuff under wraps. We don't really want judges to know what we're going to be putting on the floor until it's time. You also don't want other teams stealing ideas. And so the big one is we have, obviously, you saw a lot of tricks that happen in that routine, and those are difficult, as they know. They have a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into those tricks. And so we don't want other teams seeing that. So it's really keeping all that stuff kind of under wraps until we hit the competition season. And then after that, videos get shared left and right. And even, you know, like even if we don't want that to happen, because we get videos from other teams too, kind of knowing what we're up against. So it definitely is very competitive. So I apologize, though, if we were like, take that down.
It's all good. It's all good. I was more than happy to. I was just excited, and I learned that there's rules to this. So
It is. Yeah, there are. Yes.
Bring It On is real. They will
Yes,
steal your
yeah.
stuff.
This year they did, so our theme was chess, as you saw at the beginning for hip hop. And so they changed all their Instagram profile pictures to be cats that were like white and black, and then they had little crowns on it. So it was kind of like this royal theme. And we actually had people that are like on TikTok that have hundreds of thousands of followers that were speculating what our theme was, which was really exciting for us. We were like, we're famous. So we got a lot of excitement out of that, which was fun. So go ahead.
How long before the Grammys did you guys do that flip thing that Benson Boone ripped off? And did also?
Which one are you talking about?
There was on the sideline routine. I saw somebody did like just a full front flip.
Oh yeah,
coming out of the front
yeah, that'd
there.
be Alex. Yeah, the B twist. Well, I told him and 2 other of our girls on the team that I really wanted that to be in our routine this year, and Alex ended up getting the moment of being able to do that B twist, and it was definitely a mic drop, which is nice. Now he has it pat. At the beginning, not so much. So we're very proud of him for that one. So, and I might add, both the girls got it too. Just didn't get put in the choreo. So, very proud of them.
We obviously we all just came from a ribbon cutting from the new performance center, but you were just alluding to the length of the season. Can you kind of give some color to maybe some of the bumps and bruises and injuries that come with being such a high performance dance team?
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries that do happen. We have to really build ourselves up. It's like I said, it starts in the summer, and they have to train. We do a lot of just physical training circuits that are in the studio. We even do a lot of running, as they know. Even when we have off season, like off moments during our 2-week holiday break, they have homework every day they have to do at home and train during that time. So you know, the biggest bout that we had though this season was getting sick. So we had a lot of like flu and all that stuff. We had a couple of dancers that were dancing at nationals not feeling their best, but they were pushing so hard. They're just superb athletes, and they just really, it's a mental thing too, that I think they just know that they want to, you know, succeed to their best ability. So I'm very proud of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if we have a couple students who can reflect on this, but I'm wondering what it might mean to the team to win the state championships.
Sure.
Right? So you've got the national competitions that you do and the success there, but what does it mean for you to come home and bring another state championship to Mason?
Lauren and Mia, do you want to come down and speak on that? These are our two captains.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm one of the captains. So I think getting a 2-time state title for the first time especially was just something that, like, even though that was just the start of like our crazy month, I feel like that was just the start of that we like really started to push ourselves to the best that we wanted to really. Once we made that point, we kept going. We wanted to push ourselves harder and harder. I think just that point that we knew that we were capable of doing anything we set our mind to was just like the pushing point for us, and we pushed even harder at nationals.
So I think our team is just really strong, and after that state like title, I think it just pushed us even harder, like Lauren was saying and stuff. So yeah.
I have a question. How many of you are seniors? 5 seniors. So you'll have a strong team next year, it sounds like. So this would be, since the last title was in 18, so this is the first time any of you won, right? State title. Congratulations. What do you do from January to April? I assume you continue with training?
So we have what we call off season. I always joke with them. I'm like, well, I've seen you every day for 30 days straight, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. And then we have just once a week where we come in. It's kind of like our fun time. So we learn fun combos. We might do some, you know, training on certain skills. They love it when we do like hip hop tricks. So we try different stuff. They might watch, you know, videos and then bring it in and say, hey, can we try this and that? So, and then tryouts are typically in April. So, you know, they're gearing up for that. And then we have like a little bit of a time off before we start in June. So this is kind of a time for them to take some time for themselves. We also have a few athletes that are also in different sports. So sometimes it's the peak of their season for other sports. So we try to let them have their time with that as well. So
That's a very long season. I mean,
It is.
compared to a lot of sports.
it is.
Yeah.
Dance is really year round. I figured that out long when I was 3 years old.
Do the dancers, do you all contribute to the choreography, or is it the coach that?
They're all staring at me. Yeah, no. So we hire for our national routines. We hire choreographers to come. Our 2 choreographers for hip hop is Mackenzie Sherry and Paige Dixon, and Paige is local and Mackenzie's from Chicago. Actually, Mackenzie used to be my assistant coach years ago when she went to University of Cincinnati and danced for University of Cincinnati, and so that's how that connection happened. And then Cassidy is our choreographer for game day. This is her first year doing it with us, and she's currently on the University of Cincinnati's dance team. So it's nice for them to be able to have that connection as well, because we currently have 2 alumni that are on that dance team as well. So it just helps get those feelers out if they want to dance in college, and coaches, college coaches, to see them as well. So
Very cool.
Very cool.
yeah.
So with dance being year-round,
Mm-hmm.
who has the largest TikTok following and who's the best TikTok dancer? That's what everybody wants to know.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a question for them to, I don't know.
Please.
Yeah. What do you think? Alex has the largest TikTok. Thank you. Well, I will say that, what was this, last year? They made a video on our account, and they got, I think it was like, what, 500,000 views on. Yeah, it was them just doing a little dance right outside of camp in their Mason. And it was crazy. We were like watching it in shock. So it's kind of scary. Then we're like, maybe we should just take everything down.
TikTok famous is where you
I
want to
know,
be, guys.
it's nuts, TikTok, yeah. So, but they're all very, very talented and very well known now. They've been, I mean, the last video that they just did for Hip Hop 2 was on UDA's Nationals. Like, they featured us.
Oh, wow.
And that one had 100,000 views from their Instagram account. So And every day we just get more and more Instagram followers. So everybody wants to know about Mason Varsity Dance Team, which is great.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Come on down. We want to take a picture with you guys, and we also have a gift.
Matt's been advocating for that. That's fine. Apparently so. You've been ignored again.
You guys want to start down there and we'll shake all your hands if you don't mind.
Once they shoot.
Yes, the seniors are wearing the sweatshirts.
I don't know what we can do. I mean, we're going to have to be really talented. You know, some people silly.
Congratulations.
But maybe we could like do something.
Well, I'm sure you've done this before. You know how to like get in a spot where everything.
I mean, I like the walking thing. Like, you could be, just walk and talk, decision making, just like brainstorming. You could make like, thought bubbles. Then we could do little,
Yeah, just put it under the shirt. Okay. All right, and board members. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that looks terrific. Okay. Desiree.
We're going to get Desiree a short.
Okay, there you go. Watch out a little bit more, guys. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that looks so good. Of course it does. Fantastic. Yeah. Very famous. Congratulations.
And before Ian pauses and lets everybody leave, let's give it a round of applause to the parents who put in a lot of time and effort supporting our students too. Thank you for all you do. Wow.
Dan's parents have a tough job.
I think they get a score for how loud they are at the competition, the parents.
So we'll take a pause, and if you guys want to just exit because you have homework or want to see how your Instagram following is growing, we will pause for a moment. If you'd like to stay, please stay.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you. More pictures.
I know. Yeah. Well, and there'll be times, I'm sure, when those nights are stressful. My daughter was on the high school dance teams. And I did all the competitions.
We were at the Zebra Jam.
She like all the way through.
Jessica finished it. I was going to make it, but I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm just a big dancer. Do you need more?
I've heard about the dance style, the bedazzle.
You're very welcome.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Dance parent.
Oh, she is the dance mom.
Dance
mom.
Dance parent. Yep. Saw your
You know,
future right
we-
there.
We'll try and keep the spirit high because, that's what dance teams do. So, item number 7, hearing of the public. Tracy, do we have anything?
None tonight.
None tonight. All right. So we will cruise right along. to item number 8, resolutions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And do we have any discussion?
So a couple comments on this. There's 2 resolutions on here tonight. So in the state of Ohio, school districts collect most of their revenue through property taxes. And so here at Mason City Schools, about 2/3 of our revenue come from our property taxes. There is a process that's laid out by law where we have the chance to look at sales of, for us, it's commercial properties in the district, and go through a process to request that any commercial properties that are sold and the tax value on the books, if it's widely different than the actual sale value, we can go and request that the sale value reflect and match kind of the taxable value. And so that's kind of the process that we're going through here with these 2 resolutions. That will start the process for these 2 properties. Then in 2023, there were 2 sales. Again, both of these are commercial. We do not file, as a general rule, as a district, we do not file anything against residential properties. These are only commercials. And so this basically is just filing with the Board of Revision and asking them to consider adjusting the tax value to reflect the sale value.
Thank you, Sean. Any further commentary about our resolutions tonight? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
4-0.
Excellent. That was riveting. We kept our energy up there. But moving on to number 9, superintendent's recommendations, personnel items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just a few highlights. You can see in the spreadsheet all the things that are happening throughout our personnel hiring. One, I know we welcomed Dr. Blessing at our last meeting, but just welcome her again, and thank you officially coming on full time May 1st, but then also giving us time in between. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I know you're here last week, and you're here again, I think, next week as well. So we appreciate you just jumping right in and being a part of our team. So you'll see that in our items here. We also have in item section I and section S, the Comet Club after-school intervention program. This is an intervention program for students that need additional support, and that support is organized and provided by our teachers and our staff. And so I thank our teaching and learning team for making sure that gets in place every year and funded appropriately. So we're grateful to be able to offer that opportunity for our kids to meet them where they need. Section N, I just want to thank everyone for stepping up to the leadership role of our Big Rock leaders. Big Rocks have been a part of our district for, my 7 years as superintendent. It is something that is fun, just foundational to our decision-making and how we go about caring for our staff, our community, and providing Mason quality, and it takes leadership. And so these are staff leaders that are stepping up and taking on those roles. So in section N, you'll see the Big Rock leaders, so we thank all of them for their work and investment. The rest of the items are pretty straightforward, but a lot of coaching coming on for spring sports. Grateful for everybody stepping up. Coaching is one of those moments where you saw the coach tonight, the relationships they build with kids, the investment, the legacy they leave, it's inspiring. So if you've not considered coaching and you'd like to coach here at Mason City Schools, we'd love for you to put that on your investigation. Look into it, because we would love to have you as part of our team. Thanks.
Thank you, Jonathan. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Mrs. Batchy?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes, except I'm going to abstain as to H.
And Mr. Steele?
Yes.
4-0.
Thank you. Moving to item number 10, which is superintendent's recommendations, action items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll quickly walk you through these. Item A is a HSA agreement. I don't know, Sean, if you want to speak to
Sure.
that update. Yep.
So here at the school district, we have a high deductible health plan that's coupled with a health savings account for our district employees. Last fall, we had a few bumps in the road with our current provider, which is Health Equity. We have a healthcare committee that meets in the district a few times a year, and so we actually went through a process with our healthcare committee where we looked at other providers out there to kind of see if there was a better player that might fit for the district. And HSA Bank Services is the one, or HSA Bank is the one that kind of came out on top with that. So this is approving the contract to transition all of our employee district HSA accounts over from Health Equity to HSA Bank. And so we will be going through that here over the next few weeks.
That's great. Item B here is, and thank you, Sean, for your leadership and the work on that. I know that's a lot of work with our health committee, and it is helpful to have your leadership there. I also have item B here, learner experience designer job description. So really quick, if you're not familiar with the LED position, we have had some kind of coaching position where it's a teacher on special assignment. In my 11 years here, there's always been that some kind of a role. It used to be a little bit more as a curriculum leader, and then it evolved into a coaching role, and then now it's kind of the coaching and expertise and working with our staff and moving the district along in our journey to 2030 and our visionary work. And so the learner experience designer roles are up every 3 years. So it's an investment in leadership development for our staff. So they can apply for this position. There are 9 positions that are there. When they apply for this position, they commit to a 3-year commitment. They step out of their classrooms. They take on leadership projects, leadership influence across the district. They work with Dr. Brennan and our teaching and learning team. And they are, I mean, in a lot of ways, kind of the magic behind the scenes that make so many great decisions that impact our momentum forward. So a lot of districts around the United States look at, well, how are you doing these things? Well, a lot of it's the leadership. And the folks that are in this role have the opportunity to move into administrator roles, or they move maybe back into the classroom as expert teachers in that role. So we've just seen great value in this. It's paid great dividends and had a big impact in our legacy work. So this is the end of that 3-year time frame, and so we update the role so it's always ready for what's next in our district. So that's what you're approving tonight, is just the updated role description. And then we will be posting that, and those interviews will begin soon for that process. And we've had amazing people serving in those roles for the last 3 years. And if you go back, you see some of the leadership in our district, examples of people that have served in that role. So we're just grateful for that. Item C is a property agreement that we have with there is a person that actually uses our property to drive from one field to the next field with their equipment, and they came to us a handful of years ago and asked if they could set up an agreement that they could use our property to drive through, and we were able to do that. Item D is a lease agreement for the trucking company. If you look right behind the middle school, there is a white house right there. That is our property, and we have a great tenant. It's a trucking company. They have been great partners. Todd works directly with them. And they take great care of the property, so we're grateful for them, but this is the agreement to continue that for this next year.
Awesome. I think I had a question on the HSA Bank. Any additional fees or anything that would be incurred by our staff, or any additional costs?
So there is there's an account closure fee of $25, and there is a just an administrative fee of $4 that they're being charged for that. However, HSA Bank is offering a $50 credit to each member's account, so it should more than offset the fees. And then once they get going, there's no charge unless they pursue some individual investment options, and they can pay for some services there to help them with their investments.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions, commentary? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Ms. Abachi?
Yes.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
4-0.
Thank you. Moving on. Item number 11, Treasurer's Report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
So on this agenda, we've got our January financial reports up for approval. And then we also have a couple new funds that I will highlight. I think those are in section E. So one is these are 2 new funds that we're creating. One is the Ohio STEM Learning Grant for AI. This is actually a grant that was applied for by Mr. Fish at the middle school. Seems like he does a really good job he's always out there trying to find some kind of new grant to fund a new opportunity in his classroom. This particular grant is through the Ohio STEM Learning Network. It's a $2,500 grant to help him purchase equipment and sensors to use in his robotics class in the middle school. So kind of a neat opportunity there for his kids. So congratulations to Mr. Fish. Second new fund is an emergency assistance fund. So occasionally we get donations from different entities in the community that kind of help fund opportunities for kids where they might not otherwise have those. Kiwanis is one, for example, that kind of comes to mind where they're regularly contributing to these kinds of opportunities. So this is a new fund that we're creating to help us track those.
That is wonderful, and we thank everyone who does donate to give opportunities to our students. It is really very much appreciated. Any further discussion, questions? Seeing none, Sean, please call the roll.
Mr. Orr?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Galvin?
Yes.
Ms. Abachi?
Yes.
4-0.
And now we have moved to item number 12, which are committee reports. Looks like we only have had one committee meet since our last meeting, which is Arts and Activities.
I'll turn it over to Tracy. Thanks.
And we approved some speech and debate and Model UN out-of-state trips, and also began a conversation, just knowing that some of our clubs and activities, getting a bus driver to take them on the out-of-state trips can sometimes be challenging because that trip lasts a long time. It then costs us hard. It can be high, and it can also be difficult for a driver to say, I'm going to take 3 days and be gone. So wanted to explore, and we have a meeting set. We had some illness, so we weren't able to meet with the transportation team to just think through what could that look like with our passenger vans.
It's a good conversation to have.
Just for clarification, if Tracy takes bus drivers, we have a problem, so.
Don't think we have any other committee updates, so we'll move to item 13, the legislative update.
Okay, legislative update. Let me just run through probably the biggest one that we have been talking about and watching is House Bill 96. This is the bill that includes the Governor DeWine's biennium budget, and this is his proposed budget. I just wanted to, well, first of all, when there is a biennium budget, we watch it closely. The budget process goes all the way through and then is voted on. I think it's June 30th, somewhere in the summertime is when that's eventually voted on. So it'll go, lots of conversation will be had. We will engage in it. Sean and I will be meeting with Senator Wilson. Actually, I think he's talking to us tomorrow about understanding just the impact of the fair school funding model and what they're proposing in the FY22 levels and how that will impact us here locally. I believe it's, if I remember your memo, Sean, about a $500,000, $600,000 loss each year with FY22.
Yeah, it's about $690,000 the first year, about $800,000 the second year, so a total of about $1.5 million. And that's about 4% of our total state funding.
So why that's a big deal for us to watch closely as leaders is because if the state funding gets cut, then more of the burden goes on to our local taxpayers. And so we have been very diligent about keeping off of that whole levy cycle, and we are hoping to push that out. We promised 5 years. We've passed that. We're hoping to push that out closer to that 2030 mark. And when the budget gets tweaked at the state level, it impacts that, and it starts to put pressure on us locally. So we have a conversation with Steve Wilson coming up. We'll also have one with Representative Matthews as well, just to make sure it's on their radar and how that's impacting us directly. Remember, right now the way schools are funded, you have the way they've set it up this last time around is they're funding public schools and private schools out of that same fund. And so that's one bucket, and it's going two different directions. And so we're just trying to keep in that game and making sure that we are being good advocates from a local level, good partners at the Columbus level, so that we're making sure that we can secure the funds that our community needs to have in place to protect their money. Here are some other things that are in the budget bill. So we talk a lot about money and how it affects us, but here are some other just notes that we are watching closely because they all get thrown into the budget bill. So here's a couple things. One, there is an updated version and requirements for the cell phone use. There's some new language in there that would say basically there would be no cell phones anytime during the instructional day. Right now, our policy has no cell phones in the classroom, and for pre-K through 8, they don't have cell phones out. We do have some flexibility at the high school during lunchtime and some of those downtimes because we feel like that's a good time for them to be trained. So just so you know, like that's something we'll watch closely. That's just one example. Another is the superintendent will have the right to basically assign teachers in the best interest of students. So it would, right now there are some other rules that we follow based on, the collective bargaining agreement and some stuff. So there's some language in here that they're saying, no, that this is going to be a little different. So we'll watch that closely too. I don't know that that's good or bad. It's just something that's in there. So we'll pay close attention to it. There's also the science of reading. We've worked really diligently to get everybody trained in the science of reading. There are some additional layers to that, and then they will put it on a 5-year cycle so that everyone will need updated every 5 years. I think the next one, June 30th, 2030, will be making sure that all these teachers have had the newest update, so when they come in. They're adding the word career to the graduation plan, so really trying to recognize that it's not just a graduation for academic sake, but it's also that career connection. We have worked really hard here to build some of that career language into whether it's XLP or some of the professional learning that we've been talking about in the future, making career connections for our staff members and how to connect that back to the classroom. So that is coming down the pike as well, and that aligns with that DEW concept of having workforce in there as well. There's some additional requirements for career education, career tech education credits to be added into some of the way that we offer not only our kids, but also how it's put on their transcripts. So that's something we'll watch as well. Artificial intelligence required policy by July 1st, 2026, and it has to include some multiple layers for not just in the classroom, but for your business model and making sure that we have that in place. Again, these are all proposals in here. Some of these may change over the next few weeks because these will all go to committee conversations. And then there is some language around if a school lands in that 3-star, we're a 5-star district, but if you would land in that 3-star area, that a certain percent, and there would be some other numbers, but a certain percentage of your dollars have to be specifically for the science of reading instruction and support. So those are just some different things that we're watching that are included in the bill. They've thrown a lot in there. One other one I'll give you just to pay attention to. All those committees are meeting on a weekly basis, and they'll have some hearings coming up this week. But there's another one that got introduced just recently, and I did not know this one until just the other day, but I think I was just mentioning to Sean as well, but Senator Andrew Brenner, who has a lot of influence because he also chairs the Education Committee for the Senate, he has proposed Senate Bill 93 as a placeholder to revamp the entire school funding system. And they would basically do away with, eliminating, I'm just going to read what they've proposed, but eliminating school districts' ability to run levies for property and income taxes. There would be a uniformed per pupil amount that's assigned to public and private schools. This would be a huge shift in school funding models. I have no idea if this has any kind of traction. It could just be a talking point, so that is, but it affects all of us. So that's Senate Bill 93, so we'll watch that closely. And I asked Senator Wilson to connect with Senator Brenner just so he could understand where's that coming from. Is that something that they're serious about? Or because if so, we want to get in on that conversation right away to make sure we understand it as a school district, because that could impact us greatly. So
it's interesting that they would propose that when that would mean that they couldn't shift the burden from the state to the local, communities. If they took away the ability to levy taxes at the local level.
yes, something.
Like additional costs they would incur, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't align with some of the other conversations that are happening there and some of the models. So, again, I don't know if it's just put out there, but they don't put things out there unless they want to have conversation about something. So I'm just trying to understand it a little bit better as a leader. And then you saw Jim Tressel is also moving into a leadership position there. So I'm sure I didn't go to Ohio State, but I guess he has some connections to that school there in Columbus.
Yeah.
Couple of connections. That's
Just a
all
little bit.
from Columbus at this time. There's a couple other things, but that's the main things we'll watch.
Thank you, Jonathan, for the legislative update. Appreciate it. We've come to number 14, administrator commentary, and per our custom, we will start with you, Mrs. Carson.
Well, I'm going to highlight a few fabulous events that are happening here in the next few days and weeks. So on Monday, we have our very first Mason Career Launch, which is just a chance to meet with prospective employees. And so we know Mason is an amazing place to work, and I don't know that people always know what it takes to get a job here. Well, we want to peel back the curtain and let you, if you are a teacher, but also if you're interested in being a bus driver, if you're interested in being an aide, if you're interested in working as a person in our food service department, you have the option to come in, have on-the-spot interviews, but also just to connect with leaders in those departments and then schools to just get a little bit of the taste of why we know Mason is so special, and we can't wait for that. We then have a really important Mirrors and Windows event coming up on Thursday, February 28th. I didn't say career. I'll just name it, Mason Career Launch. Mason High School Dream Center right here at the high school, 6 to 7:30 on February 24th. Our Black History Fest is then at the end of the month, Thursday, that should say February 27th. I apologize, that says February 28th. Thursday, February 27th. That'll be at the Mason Intermediate Cafeteria and Gym. Huge thank you to the Mason Schools Foundation, who has sponsored now for several years, having people can come and get a taste of delicious food from Divine Cafe. Thank you to the Mason Schools Foundation for that. Also, if you've been there over the last few years, you have rocked it out with us. To the YOLO Band, many, many thanks to every one of our PTOs stepped up to sponsor the YOLO Band. Once again, they will get you moving and grooving, and it is just a great time. Terrific STEAM challenges, a community art project that we'll be doing together that sort of mimics what our middle school has been doing this year. Really cool stuff. Going in for our second year of our Black-owned business showcase. We have over 19 Black-owned businesses who will be there, so it's a time to kind of not just consume culture, but to actually pay it forward a little bit. So we're really excited about that and grateful to have so many people supporting us for that event. And then our other Mirrors and Windows event, because this happens before our next board meeting, I can't believe it, but it's our 18th annual Taste of Mason. This really has become a signature event for our community. We have over 17 restaurants who will be there. New this year, 2 new restaurants. We have so many restaurants who are wonderful, who come back year after year. I know I have my favorites, my family. We load up a lot of ways. That's what I suggest everyone do. Get some teams with you. Go in for all the bites you can. But we are excited to have Truva Turkish Kitchen with us for the first time this year, as well as Poke 96. Both wonderful local new businesses in our community that you can get a taste of. And then, of course, you will not want to miss the mesmerizing multicultural performances, mostly from our own students and their families, as well as really some really captivating student artwork and great opportunities to see some of our student clubs in action as well.
That is so awesome. Do we have all of these events on our website?
We sure do. We have all of them on our website, and all these are actually on our Facebook events as well, so you can hit both places.
No reason for us to not remember when we're supposed to be there. So thank you, Tracy. We appreciate it. Next, Dr. Brennan.
Yes. First, just a welcome to Dr. Blessing. It's great to have you there sitting next to me. Glad you could be here tonight. I wanted just to take a moment to celebrate a wonderful day of learning. Last Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, and this was a wonderful day of learning for our staff, and to thank our board for making this happen, and our families for having their kids at home so our staff could really engage in learning and collaboration that we know positively impacts our students' outcomes as well. We had over some of the numbers, so over 125 staff members who contributed by designing and or facilitating learning and collaboration opportunities for their peers. We had over 300 teachers and paraprofessionals who were able to get together across buildings because of having this day where all of our students were home, which is just really an unusual opportunity. In our feedback, we always ask for feedback on the day of, was really appreciated by them for that opportunity for cross-building collaboration. And we had over 93% of our staff who gave feedback said the day met or exceeded their expectations, and really celebrating just the opportunity to learn together and to collaborate with each other as well. So we really just appreciate that time for us to continue to learn and grow in service of our learners. So thank you for that, and to everyone who contributed. Our LEDs also, Jonathan saw that role that was posted today and will be posted for applications tomorrow, played a huge role also in helping to support that learning, and shout out to them and our learning experience supervisors as well. So, and just on a personal note, also just wanted to share my love and prayers for the Cherney family and our MECC community as we're all grieve the loss of a great mom and community member and educator as well.
Well said, Amy. For the first time ever, I have the pleasure of introducing our Chief Talent Officer, newly appointed and voted on, Dr. Blessing.
Thank you. Real quick, just getting started. It was wonderful to visit the district last week and meet a lot of great leaders and be in Mason Intermediate. So that was fun. And I'm going to be working with Tanya starting in March. So appreciate the opportunity that the board and the administration have allowed us to kind of collaborate and do some transition days, hopefully at least 10 or 11 days together. So not enough time to capture all of her great wisdom and just institutional knowledge, but I'm going to try in that short amount of time. So, and then I'm excited to be able to attend the career launch that Tracy mentioned on Monday night. So looking forward to seeing that and getting lots of great ideas as we move forward, because I think hopefully it'll be an annual event. So, but thank you all again for this opportunity, and I'm excited to be part of Mason. So thank you.
We love that you're jumping in with both feet. We appreciate you pulling double duty. We know that's tough for the time being in two places, but we're already seeing your dedication, and we really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and welcome, Dr. Blessing. It's so exciting to have you beside me. And also our new data systems coordinator. So he is in his second week. So I want to thank you again for investing. He's already just plowing through data at an incredible rate. So I'm very thankful for that. And then lastly, I do want to also offer my condolences to the Meck family as well as to the Cherney family. It's a huge loss for us and for the community. So my heart and prayers go out to them.
Thank you, Christine. Todd?
Yes, I'd like to reiterate what Christine said about the Cherney family and the MECC staff. My heart goes out to them for sure. Also, once again, welcome to Dr. Blessing. Look forward to working with her and just the dance team tonight. Wanted to just recognize them again as you watch that video, just to see the sheer professionalism those kids had to be able to make those moves with each sound. They put a lot of time into that, and I think we need to recognize that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them again as well.
Thank you, Todd. Sean?
Sure, some of the same, watching those dance, the video, I just was kind of impressed that every time they moved, they were always in sync, and I can't imagine how many hours of training had to go into making sure that they were always moving at the same time. So very impressive. Congratulations to them. Certainly very deepest condolences and sympathies to the Cherney family and MECC. Certainly praying for them through this season. Last thing I wanted to mention was piggyback on Dr. Cooper's mentioning of House Bill 96. Some people who follow the process may know that there are several steps that we go through here in terms of determining the next biennium budget. The first version is from the governor's office, then it goes to the House, then to the Senate, then the conference committee. So several steps in the process, but we are certainly watching that one very, very closely. As he mentioned, reduction in state funding of $1.5 million is significant, and so we want to make sure that we are representing our community well, going to bat for them. I mentioned earlier in the meeting where over 2/3 of our revenues in our general fund comes from local property taxes, and so We don't want to see that percentage continue to rise, so we're certainly doing everything we can to advocate for our community.
Thank you, Sean. Dr. Cooper.
Couple quick updates around the district. One, both mock trial teams are heading to state. I don't know if you saw that out there, but we're excited for them. I don't know when that state championship is, but good luck. Maybe they'll be here with us soon. We had 2 middle school students that were just recognized for Scholastic Art Awards, which is always warms my heart because I love art and love to see our kids expressing themselves. So you'll see more of that, I'm sure, coming out soon if you haven't already. Avius Jackson, our very own Avius Jackson, that works with the marching band. You mentioned that someone came to you once and said, hey, you probably can't post that stuff. Avius is always grateful. He's the sweetest guy in the world. Came up to me one time, so it's not just, don't feel like they're just calling you out. But he said, Jonathan, are you posting that? I said, well, I guess I was going to celebrate. He goes, no, we don't want to reveal anything until the national championship. So I did learn that lesson early on too. There's a lot, at this professional national level, they cover, you can't read their lips. There's a lot going on at those levels, and I appreciate it, but I did learn that lesson as well. But Avius Jackson is being recognized for the Sam Reynolds Outstanding Music Educator Alumni Award for OMEA up in Cleveland I think it was a week ago. A big award for him and his family and our William Mason Marching Band. So congratulations, Avius and team. Todd, just want to thank you and your team. When it's really cold, no matter if it's a school day or it's a weekend or it's a holiday, Todd and I are usually talking about, because remember, our facilities are being used 24/7, it feels like all the time. So, remember youth basketball and all those things that are going on in our buildings. When the snow comes in on Sunday, we're talking through that in the early morning. So just thank you for your team and getting that stuff opened up for us, or if we need to make the call. February 14th, Love for Learning. As Dr. Brennan said, we loved learning that day. I was able to make it around to most of our spaces. Dr. Brennan was hunkered down in the ESL learning team. And you know what was great about it? I remember the day when we sat at the table with employee number 1 on that team, and it was like a full room over the time we've been here to build that, and they're just so good at what they're doing and so invested in our kids. So I love that. I came over here and I was a part of, I think I was with Tracy and maybe Christine, I don't know, a few other people in a session here talking about hospitality and unreasonable hospitality. And Cal Patel, one of our former parents here, alumni parent, came in and talked to us about what does that look like. And I went from there to see our folks, our classified staff that work with our kids every day on how to handle tough situations and to de-escalate situations. So, we had everything going on, and we're just so grateful because it was staff members leading staff members, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So just love to see it, love to see our folks thriving in that way. Night to Shine is an event that happens in our community. It's like a dance ball for students with special needs. It's connected to a former football player, Tim, I think it is, Tim. And he comes by and says hi, and he does. I think he does come by. He really comes by and says hi real quick and then takes off. I've never seen him myself, but he does. But I want to just point out what's really neat about the event is we have lots of volunteers in investment. Warren County Education Service Center, they also invest in this with Tom Isaacs and crew, but also our lacrosse team and other people are there. But I got an email from one of the families just thanking our lacrosse guys that were there, just helping the kids have a great time. And that's just really neat to see our kids investing in our kids in the community. So I love that. And then last but not least, I was able to be over and watch Melissa Bly and her team care deeply for our staff in a moment of loss. And your investment in our prevention and wellness, that is something the board supported for our students, and we said we want that to be for our staff as well, and the board supported that. And having our service dogs, they were all there, hands on deck. It was a beautiful way of watching us come in today in a hard day back and face that loss and the heartache of that, but just to watch people wrap around and care for each other in a really healthy way. So just want to thank you for that. And I know you couldn't see that in person, but I can tell you it was one of those moments that just makes you proud to be a part of this family here. So our hearts go out to them. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Jonathan. We'll definitely do that. We have reached item number 15, board commentary, and I'll mix it up, and I'll start with you, Desiree.
You just threw me off. I'm always brief, so. Just Coach Kasner and Coach Smart and Scott Stemple, just a shout out to them. That was a beautiful space, and my daughter, who is an athlete in college now, she came home and she had a workout regimen, and she's like, Mom, what am I gonna do? I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for Planet Fitness for 3 weeks at your home. And Scott Stemple said, hey, we open it up to alumni students. So, I think that's a great thing for our community and our athletes that have, went on to college, but you don't have a workout room in your basement. So that was great. And it's just a great space. It goes beyond, the muscle building. It's team building. It's wellness. It's, one of the students said it's her happy place. I get it. It was a great space to be in, and that was the first time I'd laid eyes on it. So that was a fun thing. Thank you for letting us be a part of that. The dance team, that was exciting. First state championship in 6 years. So it's something really to be proud of. And what a lovely group of young men and ladies that made up the team and the coach. So that was a treat to have them here. And, of course, our thoughts and prayers with the Turney family. That was just horrible news, so we're praying for you.
Thank you, Desiree. Charles?
I also want to echo our support and just condolences to the Cherney family and all of the MECC family. I think, Erin and her family have been on our radar for some time now, and I think if there's any comfort to be felt in this time, it's that she is undoubtedly in a better place. And while we all grieve her absence, hopefully the pain and suffering that they've been throughout this process is something that they can now put behind them. But we certainly appreciate the outpouring of support from the entire Met community, and extending throughout the Mason community, beyond just the MEC building. I think it's a great reminder and a reflection of just the close-knit, supportive community that we all have the privilege of living in and serving, and one that is an exemplar to other communities around our region, around the world, really. I had the fun opportunity today to go over and visit the MEMI Black History Month floats and be a judge. I think they're going to be displayed for another day or two, and I'll tell you, it is really just, if you've not been there before, just wow, prepare yourself. Like when you hear floats and you hear, it's third and fourth and fifth and sixth graders, you kind of have something in your mind, but you walk in, and it was for me a little overstimulated, to be honest. I wasn't quite prepared for all that I got to take in, but really impressed with the work that our kids put into researching and creating displays for all of the different figures throughout history that they've got to research this month. And shout out to the teachers and staff that have created the space and platform for them to put their hard work on display for the community to come and check out. It was a really cool experience, and got to learn about a couple different folks that I had not learned about before. So, in particular, Mr. Winfield, the snowboarder who was a pioneer in the X Games. If you go over there, make sure to look for that one amongst the fourth grade displays. Also got to sit in on a third grade class debate today. Some of the GPS students in Miss Mullen's class were debating the necessity of plastic in our modern society. And I got to tell you, I don't think I had the intensive kind of debate prep and experience that these kids have already been exposed to in third grade until maybe high school. I really can't remember something prior to then that was akin to what these kids were learning. They are really taking some complex concepts and skills at a very early age when it comes to presenting and public speaking, engaging people on topics that are challenging, engaging their classmates who are intentionally assigned opposing viewpoints to them, and learning at a young age how to actively listen, how to respond, stay on task, stay on target, but also kind of use the ethos, logos, pathos, and persuade their classmates. And one of the most interesting parts at the end was watching these students put their heads down and silently and anonymously vote on, regardless of which side they were on, who they felt made a better case today and which side they were leaning towards. And some of the students predictably held their hands up when it was their own side, but some of them admittedly put their hands up for the other side. And ultimately it was a pretty even mix as to whether or not plastic was essential for today's society. And I just thought it was a really great kind of microcosm of the work that's going on here in Mason schools, and the kind of work and the kind of lessons that we hope our kids grow up with and bring with them as they advance through the grades, and as they become young adults, teenagers, and eventually graduate and go out in the world and take comic culture with them wherever they're headed. Especially, I think it's poignant, in this time of year and this time of transitioning political administrations in our nation's capital. We'll soon see another election here in our state. We have elections just about every year for some local state office, but nationally as well. And we're reminded in the early months of a new administration that with elections sometimes comes change, and that can stir up a lot of feelings and a lot of maybe excitement for the change that's to come, but maybe anxiety for the change that's to come as well. And I just think about what's going on at the national level in our world and in our community, and sitting in that classroom today was reminded that we have something very special here in Mason, and that regardless of what is taking place outside of our district, there's so much to be excited about, so much to be confident in, and so much to feel good about that is going to last for generations to come, beyond the next 4 years, beyond the next 8 years, beyond however long it is. We have a lot to be proud of and a lot to look forward to, and I'm really grateful to serve in a community and serve with board members that value those same skills and those same lessons that I see in our classrooms today. So that's all for me.
Thank you so much, Charles. Vice President Steele.
Thank you, Ian. Quickly, just wanted to comment on the ribbon cutting ceremony that we had earlier today. It was really great to be in the space in the new weight room, the strength center. I think what excites me the most about the space is the attitude about the space and the thought behind it, in that it's not a football weight room, it's not a basketball weight room, it's not a any single, certainly male sport classroom or weight room. And the logos weren't quite ready yet. They'll be there, but every student athlete will literally see their sport represented. All of our Men's sports, women's sports will be represented on the walls because that is a space for all of them, but it also goes beyond our student athletes. The wellness classes that Coach Kastner and Coach Smart lead during the day. I'm not sure if anybody said it tonight, but it is the room that is used most in our district by students every single day, over 500, something like that. I mean, that's an incredible statistic. That is a hub of activity, a hub of wellness. So I'm just really excited to invest in that and to have a state-of-the-art facility for our students for years to come. So thank you to everybody who had a part in making that incredible space what it is. So excited to see it. And personally, I'll just say it blew me away to realize that I have a rising freshman next year who will be able to use it. So exciting and terrified that I have a high schooler already at the same time. Congratulations again to our dance team. What an incredible accomplishment. It's really exciting to see all that hard work pay off, not just in the state championship, but for them, like you said, Sean, to be able to be proud and see that video of just seeing their hard work come to fruition in the synchronized movements. I mean, they put any college dance team to shame. I think our alma mater claims to be a world-class dance team. They're great, but stack them up against our dance team. I don't know that what the competition would be like. And finally, just wanted to echo comments and heartfelt condolences to the Cherney family. What an incredible loss of a mother, wife, leader. Our MECC community, it's a major loss for them as professionals and a member of their family, and I know a lot of folks are hurting. Like you, Charles, I take comfort in the fact that her suffering has ended, and I know that people will take comfort in that, but for right now, people are hurting, and I'm just glad that people are able to put their arms around each other and love each other. So our hearts and prayers go out to the Cherney family and the MECC family. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I love being at the end because it just reminds me to be short, be brief, because I'm the only thing standing between us and adjournment.
That's right.
Well, one of my favorite poems is John Donne's "No Man is an Island," and there's a line in that poem that says, "Any person's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind," and so the most important thing that we all share is life. And to share space with someone who gives life and teaches children is it's a sacred space. To care enough about other people's children to educate them is a special gift. And I think everyone that works here understands that. It is a selfless act, and so that's why our community and the Cherney family feel this loss so deeply, because she gave her life in service to others. And so we grieve and we put our arms around one another and we use her memory as a blessing and as a guide path on how to move forward and continue to use our lives for service. So thank you, Cherney family, for lending your mom and your wife to us so that she could serve our community of students and help them grow. So I wanted to say that. I think Mason City Schools is so unique, and I know we use that word at times just for everything, but truly because of the people that work here and the people that serve here being on the same page when it comes to making this whole institution, organization about our students. It was on display today in our performance center, not just to try and win as many all GMC school titles. It's not about trying to win state championships. It's about building young people for life, getting them into healthy habits to see themselves in a way that says that they are stronger than their fears and they can do more than they believed. And We see that with our dance team when they win a state championship for the first time in, almost a decade, and not only just one, but in both categories. And so it's not to brag. It is an intentional outcome of the investments made by hundreds of people over time. And I'm going to try and weave that thought into the current space we occupy. There is a lot of churn and conversation about education, public education specifically, in Ohio specifically, and we are not immune, and we read it, we hear it, we see it. The only thing, and I try to tell this to my own children, you can control what you can control. If I worry about all the things that I cannot control, I will spin myself around silly, and I will be dizzy, and I'll be disoriented. But if I focus in and my energies and efforts on the things that I can control based on who I am, what values I possess, that is where I can work from. And when I am in these spaces, and I plan to go to see the floats at MEMI tomorrow, I see an organization that is focused on every student every day. And it is a respite and a safe haven from all the things that you are hearing and seeing churn around. But when you come into these spaces, and some of you who are hearing this aren't in these spaces, but these students, we care for them for who they are. We have a personalized learning rock. We see each student's potential. We want them to grow, to know themselves, as well as the ethos, pathos, and logos of debating. We want them to leave here with a great technical understanding of the subjects and who they want to be. And so if ever there was a moment in time that you wanted to have a space dedicated to the education and well-being of children, it is today. And I would posit that this is that place. Is it perfect? It is not. But it's dedicated to try. And no matter what other I can't speak to what other institutions do. As Kevin Wise once told me, we are at the bottom of the hill and we catch what rolls down it and we try to make the best out of it. And we will continue to do that. But we control what we control, and it is our vision and values and purpose to be dedicated to educating every kid every day, which not every school district has to. There are school districts that don't have to accept all children. There are schools that don't have to take all comers or educate all people, but we do. Our budgets are focused on hiring the highest quality staff we can find and given the highest level educational opportunities. We have built weight rooms, performance centers, we have added to buildings, we have renovated buildings, and we have done so fiscally responsibly. I would put this district and its performance up against any in the state and say that we have done for our community what they have charged us to do, which is to be good stewards of our money and also educate each student to get their maximum potential. So if you hear this and you're hearing all the other churn, know that this district is dedicated to teaching every student every day and caring for them and supporting them and seeing them. And that's what matters. Well done is better than well said. And I'll leave it there. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.